fastest show in sports.
Cooper Flagg being the first-round draft pick and the first pick in the NBA draft for the Dallas Mavericks. Everybody expected this. But the thing that really sticks to me and I'm getting sick and tired of is every single time we get a player like this, and I saw this, it was the headline, he is the future of the NBA. He is a once-in-a-lifetime player. Will you please cut the nonsense here? Why is it there's always one that we got to throw this pressure on? We got to call him the next best thing in the NBA. Yeah, he's a great player. He did a lot of great things in Maine. And there's people saying that he's going to lead the Dallas Mavericks. He's 18. I mean, come on. It's not like this is a grown man. But the ridiculous amount of pressure that is shoveled on these players, and Mike, you covered the NBA for a lot of years. I mean, this gets nonsensical at the time. And again, there's more of these bubble-headed experts sitting on social media and all of these different talk shows that have to think that they know something specific and they're experts on it. I know this kid. I've seen this kid play. He's going to be a superstar. Cut the bullshit. Stop with the pressure, please. We don't know what he's going to be, Mike.
Yeah, we don't, but we also, if enough people with a pedigree of having seen a lot of players over the years say this guy is going to be, I don't know if he's going to be a Hall of Famer. I can tell you right now, if he doesn't suffer major injury, he's going to make a lot of all-star teams over the next 10 years. Might not be for a couple years. He's going to, he has the requisite skill set to actually, if not be the first banana on a team that wins a championship, surely be a second banana. I mean, I see Cooper Flagg as no worse than Scottie Pippen, and probably as good as, I don't know, Kevin Durant or any All-Star that over the last 15 years. You know,
But we don't know
I remember
that.
when they put. Yeah, we don't know that, but I said the same thing when they put LeBron James on the cover of Sports Illustrated 16, calling him the chosen one. And I used to also, when I was at the Post, sort of there'd be a big thing, a huge, we are all witnesses with LeBron James holding his arms out, a big billboard in Cleveland. And I went around to a lot of the Baptist churches and go, are you guys okay? Like LBJ's kind of upstaging JC at this point, Jesus Christ. And, that he's the new witness. And, they were politically correct about it, but they were a little bit bothered by it.
Into a lot of these
LeBron
experts,
James,
they make them think like he's the next coming of God. I mean, that's
but LeBron James in basketball was the next coming of God or Jesus Christ. He was that special. And so is Cooper Flagg that special? I don't know. He reclassified. Can you imagine if Cooper Flagg came out in a year? I mean, can you imagine actually saying, you know what? I was 17 and I was gonna, I think I'll just get out of the NBA. Like, he got out of high school a year early, Ed, to be in the NBA.
I'm not knocking his talent, Mike.
This could be his senior year of high school.
I
so
get
I'm not
that.
saying
I'm not
he's the
knocking
second
his
coming.
talent. He's got a brilliant amount of talent. That's obvious.
Yeah.
But this nonsense that so many people shovel onto the players is he can't miss. He's the future star of the NBA. He's going to lead to 6 championships. He's going to all this. It's nonsense.
Right.
The problem with it is you've got a fan base out there that buys into that bullshit every single time.
I wonder, what's interesting is he hasn't engendered the racial animus that Caitlin Clark has, because for some reason Etan Thomas, who used to play in the NBA, I've known him for years. I consider myself an amateur Caucasian social justice minister. Well,
we've always thought of you as an amateur Caucasian anyway, so please go ahead.
Yeah. But Etan Thomas is the real thing. Like he was enlightened, whatever, woke before me or anybody, and he wrote a great column in the Guardian in England recently, basically saying why isn't Cooper Flagg hated like other Duke white players? And he made some great convincing arguments about how his game and his attitude is respected amongst the black community, amongst everybody. But here's my thing: I think part of it, while it hasn't gotten ugly like Caitlin Clark, I think part of it is this guy is the first American-born white player drafted number one since Kent Benson in 78, but from Indiana, or 77 from Indiana. They're saying, like he's the best American born superstar since Larry Bird. Like, I hate to say it, but people, like we were talking last week, or earlier this week, Madison Avenue is like going, you know what? It's one thing to get these Slovenians and these damn Croatians in there, but god dang it, we got ourselves a Maine boy.
See, that's
Woo-hoo!
I
Let's
tell you
go.
what, David, that's exactly what they're
Let's
doing.
get that
They're
white
going,
pay, let's get them white people buying tickets again.
and you and I both know it. That's the way they're looking at it right now. But Mike brings up a
Yeah.
good point when he talks about how the racial animus doesn't seem to be here with Cooper Flagg, but when Caitlin Clark came into the WNBA, there was an awful lot of talk about it. But it still comes down to, again, Caitlin Clark was another one who got all that tremendous hype barreled onto her coming in. She earned it. There's no doubt about it coming into the WNBA. And yeah, I think Cooper Flagg has earned these kind of accolades. But can we just back off? I mean, that's it. Let's back off. He's a kid, for crying out loud. Let him play his game. Let him grow into his game. Let him become something really special, and let's enjoy it instead of this hyperbolic nonsense that goes on just because people want to say something. David, you know this is true. There's just people out there going, I just want to make sure I say something about Cooper Flagg and get it on social media.
Right, right. I mean, that's really part of the problem with our modern media sphere is that, a reasoned take, a measured take on anything is just not isn't heard as easily. You know, I think it's and you know we we see it. We see it politically. Everything is the greatest since
Every day.
the best ever, the most destructive ever, the best economy. It's like they're making measured statements. It's almost like there's a concern. How will anybody hear me if I don't speak over the top? And so everybody who's a first overall pick, or especially, yeah, let's be straight. If you're a white guy and you're that guy, yeah, okay, here it comes. And that's yeah, and I think he and by the way, to step into why he hasn't gotten the same animus that Caitlin Clark is, because Caitlin Clark is I think Caitlin Clark's a little more in your face, trash talking.
She talks some shit. She talks some shit.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's why. Look, I'm an Indiana University guy. She killed my team, and with last second shots, big shots, and had her chest out the whole time. Yelling at the crowd, talking to. I loved it. I'm like, who is this woman? And then if you watch her game, you learn about her game and that she's not just a scorer. She's got a complete game offensively. And so, that is the type of thing that's going to piss people off.
Well, yeah, she lit up college basketball. Cooper Flagg is a kid who's lit up high school.
And she comes in the league, and also it's Iowa. It's like it's about as white as can be, and she's talking mess, and she's backing it up. Oh, and then she's getting all this money. I mean, it's like I think she would have been resented. I think she would have been resented anyway by a lot, just because it happens in the NBA too. We see it happen in the NBA, especially back when the NBA was not as popular. And there were guys coming in, rookies making serious bucks, and some of the vets not making serious bucks, or looking at them like, who the hell are they? There was resentment,
right?
And so you get the same thing here with Caitlin Clark. Plus, it's just the hype, and there was just this resentment, like, who the heck, people, and the players. A lot of the players, some players and coaches are acting like, oh my goodness, people are acting like that. We just began when this young woman came in the league. Other people, I thought it was interesting that Dawn Staley, after they beat Iowa for the title last year, Staley mentioned, "Hey, I think she's handled this as well as it can be handled. I really appreciate it and everything. Why? Because Dawn Staley knows she's not on that Aflac commercial with Mike Krzyzewski without Caitlin Clark.
Thank you.
And so, she's like, hey, she's one of those going, hey, we all making money because of this young woman. Y'all need to stop.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a difference, though, because Caitlin Clark comes into the WNBA, and she comes in with all the college accolades behind her, and everybody knew that she was an exceptional player coming in. So she was prepared to take a lot of this heat. And you could tell by her attitude and the way she carried herself on court, and the way she carries herself on court right now, she doesn't take any crap from anybody. And I love that about her. That's why I love watching her. Cooper Flagg's an 18-year-old kid. Cooper Flagg's an 18-year-old kid. Let him grow, for crying out loud. Stop throwing all this on him. Because if he bails, if something happens and Cooper Flagg doesn't become the next thing since great toast in the NBA, people are going to hammer him. Oh, we all knew this kid was going to suck. He was too young. People got all over him. It's just unfair. Stop that's all I'm saying. Caitlin was ready for it. Cooper's not ready for it.
And she spent 4 years.
Cooper's not ready for it. Wait. Cooper's not ready for it.
No.
He just got into a scrimmage with the Olympic team last summer at 17 years old, and Braun and Durant, all these guys from the team came up to him and go, you know what? These are the things you got to look for. These are things you got to. They were so impressed, and they knew that he was going to be a decent pro that they were giving him tips. This guy is going to be fine, Ed. Every level he goes to, he understands it. He's a and part of me is like, I hope he's not a programmed robot like so many of these kids that are media trained now and don't want to speak their minds. I think this guy is on a mission, and he's on a mission to be a very good, if not great, NBA player. And
one of the best
Cooper
things
Flagg
he
to
can
me
do,
is a guy.
And one of the best things he can do is shut his mouth, stay off social media, play the game, do your job. And that's another issue here right now, because you have too many of these players that get up there and want to get in everybody's face on social media. If Cooper Flagg is smart, and I think he is, or there's going to be somebody on his side being smart for him, you stay the hell off social media, play basketball, and become a better player. That's what he needs.
Well, they told me to stay off social media, and look
they
where
were
it got
right.
me. Okay, so yeah, you're right. They were. I'm sorry.
I think it's very. I think to a generation that was raised with social media, to a generation that that sees, they're very conscious in Gen Z that, the loyalty that companies and teams and everything ask of you will not be returned. And so they are very conscious that, of when they talk about building their individual brand, it's not just out of, some it's out of a selfishness, but it's out of an understood selfishness that, hey, I'm on this team right now. I'm do the best I can for this team, but, this team can trade me. This team can, I can't, my identity can't only be with this team. There has to be there's a Cooper Flagg separate from Dallas. There's Dallas Mavericks Cooper Flagg, and then there's Cooper Flagg. He's very conscious of that. And so every player's conscious of that. That's why a lot of them are on developing themselves.
But is he conscious of that, David, at 18 years of age?
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, David. You're right. He is. And he is. And you know what, Ed? You know what else, Ed? There is a Mike Wise separate of the fastest show in sports. Okay? I might have to personally brand myself at this point.
Bring it on.
Because you don't respect us. You don't respect us.
Put your cowboy hat back on.
Okay, I'll get it later.
That's all, folks.